Hello, this is Brett, and guess what? I'm not in
I
the
don't know what.
conservatory. I'm not in the conservatory.
Ah,
Yeah,
you look like
so
you're in the office.
I am in the office. Yes, so I am at the Lightning Tools office, and I thought I'd just come in here for a change. We're not all back here yet. It's just me. But actually, tell a lie, my daughter is in the conference room, so she's come in as well. She's doing some of her homework. So she's doing some artwork here for a change of scenery, and I came in for a change of scenery as well.
Oh, that's
So
always good, I think.
yeah. So how are you, Sandy? All good?
I'm very good, thanks. Yep, still in the same place.
Excellent. Good stuff. So yeah, last week we talked about Lightning Forms and some of
Mhm.
the new features, and yeah, I thought we'd show a little bit of that today.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, we weren't quite ready to do that last week, but yeah, it'd be great to demo some things and let people see what's new.
Yeah, certainly. So yeah, let me go ahead and share the screen here. That'd be a good
Okay.
idea, wouldn't it?
Yep.
We can take a tour of all of that stuff. So yeah, what we've got here is just a SharePoint list. It's called Expense Report, and this was already customized by Lightning Forms, so that we could actually bring in a couple of different list forms. So you'll notice if I jump into my site contents that I have the expense report, which is the list that we're going to be looking at, but I also have expense items, and I also have a location lookup as well. So those three lists kind of form this solution that I've built with Lightning Forms. And if we jump into the expense report, which, as you can see, is a modern list. So in here, we've got the ability to go in and start customizing the different forms. So if I hit that button, you'll see that the new form, the edit form, and the display form have all been customized. And what we've done is actually embedded the expense items list onto the expense report form, so that we can go through and create an expense report. So the header information, such as the last name and the first name, the person doing the claim, is all recorded in the main list item, and then you've got the sub items, which might be your flight, your food, and all that sort of thing that you're claiming for as part of that expense report. So if I hit new here, you'll see the form load. So you can see yeah, it's called expense reports. We've got two different tabs here that I added using Lightning Forms. So the claimant is on there, so they can fill out all their details, and then we also have the approver who can come in and mark this as approved, and we can submit the report as well. to make it approved. And then at the bottom here is also the expense items, so we can go through and add those. So that's the whole idea. So if we were to create an expense report for Sandy, I won't fill out all the details here, but I'll just go through and put a couple of those in.
Oh, I can't wait to see where I'm going.
Yeah, you get to fly. So I'll fill that information out, and down here we can go through and create some details. So we might have I guess flight to Vegas might be the next one.
Oh, sure.
If that happens.
Now, could that also be customized?
Yeah, we can customize this form as well. Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm going to put in an amount. So we'll put in $1,000 for that flight, and we can also go in and put some food. So there was maybe a steakhouse or something like that we went to. So we'll select food, and we'll say we spent $400 on steak, which is easy to do. Yeah, and so on, and yeah, basically your total expense items obviously come to 1,400. I don't need to be a mathematician for that one. So as we come up to the approver tab here, the approver can see how much he's approving, which is $1,400 in this case, and then they could decide whether they're going to approve it or not, and so on. So I'm just going to actually go through and save that. And so that's written out to this particular list with the expense report. And if we jump into the expense items, we'll see that it's written out to that one as well with those two items that you were claiming for. So here under expense items, we've got the flight to Vegas and the steakhouse, which, as you can see, it's got the little eyebrows on it because it's new, just been created, and so on. So what I've also done with that, with the new build, is gone through and added a little bit of logic so that if we go in and edit your expense claim, we can see on the approver tab that it looks normal. It looks just like it did a moment ago when I created a new item. But I'm going to come out of that one and actually jump into my expense claim. And when I go into edit that one, the approver is immediately alerted with a little bit of conditional formatting going here. So
nice.
you can see, yeah, if I came in and I was on this tab, then I've changed the icon of that tab so that the icon has gone red. So I know that there's something drawing me in here. So when we click onto that tab, I can see that there's actually a red border around the total expense claim because it's actually higher than the allowance of $2,000. So that's my my condition there. So that's the sort of thing that we can do now with Lightning Forms. So let me show you how that's done. So what we'll do is just in our list here, we'll open up the Lightning Forms customization dialog again, and we'll jump here into the edit form. So as I go into that, we've got a brand new styling button on the command bar inside of Lightning Forms. So we can click onto the styling option, and you can see all of the different controls in here on the form itself. And yeah, they're organized by the sort of general styles. So under general styles, you've got the the form title, which is here. You've got the command bar and the rows and the buttons and all that sort of thing that you can go through and style if you want to. And then once you get into the body of the form, you also have, as you'll see, this is the row with the claimant tab on it, and there's the approver
that
tab.
alone is useful, actually, having that view of the controls.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely. So yeah, under the approver tab, which we've got here, you can see that there's the style that I added. So in actual fact, we can go through and just simply remove that, and I'll walk through the steps on how to recreate that one. So yeah, on the approver tab, we'll hit the ellipsis here and choose add style. And of course, you might be adding the same sort of style to several different controls. So one of the things you can also do is save the style, and you can reuse it, so you're not having to go through and add everything again. So yeah, you'll see there's actually templates that you can go through and select. So it's like an error style built in there. But yeah, I'm going to say
you built that.
no, I
It's
did
built
not.
in.
No, that one's built in. Yeah. So yeah, you can go through and save them and name them anyway. So I'm going to build one from scratch. And so we could just call this, highlight approver tab. So that's the name that I've given it. And when we hit next, that then gives me this rule / condition that we can set. So I get to build the rule. So I'm going to click onto the expression builder icon here, which is the same expression builder that we have to create values for calculated columns and initial values and things like that. And it gives me all of the different fields that make up this form as well. So the one that we're looking for is the total expense claim. So I can just simply double click onto that total expense claim, and we said is greater than 2,000. Now it might be also just to I'll throw in an improvement on this rather than hard code the 2,000 in a moment, but I'm just going to go through and drop that in there. And one thing you can do is test this. So if I test this against the UCIA record, it returns false. If I test it against Lonsdale, it returns true. So I know
that's
my
really
condition's
helpful.
working. Yeah, yeah. So so there's my condition, and we're good with that. So we'll save that. And now we get to apply our style. So you can change the background color, if you like, of the actual tab itself, or you can change the border and the border radius, or the active color, things like that. And you've got the icon color, or you can change the label. So there's all sorts of bits that you can change about the tab in there. So I just went through and changed the icon color. Now, one of the cool things about this is you can very easily create a form that just looks horrible because it sort of disassociates itself from the current theme. But actually this is picking up the theme that is applied. So you'll see the blue accents all around the site, and I've got all of those accent colors coming from the theme that I can go through and select. So if you want something to blend in with the theme, then you can choose those. But in this case, I really want to sort of break that theme to bring the attention to the user. So I also have the ability to select a custom color as well. So this is where we went for the bright red.
Although I see, like in those theme colors, there was a kind of a reddish one. I think
Burgundy
that's
red,
yeah. I
yeah,
think that's usually used within each SharePoint site theme. There's some kind of
error color.
accent color, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you could just go with that one if you wanted to. But yeah, in this case, I really wanted to jump out at you, so I will go with that. And you can see as we go through and do that, it sets the code there with that color and so on. So that's how to do it, and you can go through and apply that. So
that was easy.
Yeah, that's applied to that one, and of course we could just scroll down and have a look that under the total expense claim field, I've got the other expression. So same rule in that case, but I'm just changing the border. I increased the thickness of the border and I made the border red. So they're the different options that you have in there. But yeah, there's lots of different things that you can change on that, including changing the label color if you wanted to, which might be a good one. And yeah, of course you can make it italic or whatever you want to do in that case. And you could do the styling without the condition. So if you just want to add a style to a field, then you can also just add a style to a field. So that's a nice feature. So that's the conditional formatting that
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now, one of the things we might decide to do as an afterthought is on this approver tab, what I might decide I want to do is make that approver tab only available to approvers or only available if you are the manager. So what I'm going to do is just simply go into the properties and I'll make that visible only if you are that manager. Yeah, we can, one of the things I like to do, this is not a new feature, by the way, I'm just sort of adding this. So under is member of a group, you might have like a expense approvers group that if I am a member of that group, then it displays the tab for that reason. But in this case, I'm just going to go through and say, if you are that manager, and that'll be it. So we can, again, test that to see whether it, or I should say, is equal to. There we go. Oh, not. Anyway, something along those lines. Whatever. I don't actually want to hide it, so I could have my condition there to hide that.
Okay.
But I'm going to leave that unhidden regardless. But what I've decided to do is to hide that so that nobody can go through and change this field value, and I want a field where we can actually set what the total expense claim limit is rather than having it hard coded. So when you've got afterthoughts like that, before we'd have had to have save and close this form, navigate back to the list, add the column in the list, come back into the Lightning forms and customize the form again. Now I can actually just hit the plus icon here, and that will take me through the ability to actually go through and create it without exiting the design experience. So yeah, I could have the expense claim limit. Yeah, and make that currency field. So so we've got that in there, and we can choose OK. So we now have that, which the manager can set for each user, and we could then go through and change the styling option. So we're not comparing it anymore with a hard-coded value. We can actually go through and set that to be the field, which is the expense claim limit. Okay, so yeah, that just improves that somewhat as we go through. So yeah, you can create fields on the fly as you're going through and designing all of that one.
That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's another nice new feature as well. So you will notice here, if I again go through to create a new item, that we have a lookup. So in here, the location option gives me some different locations, and depending on what location I select, notice how we're filtering out the departments. So you've got marketing sales in Castleford. I've got marketing sales also in Fort Smith, but in Basel we also have logistics and production and so on. So that is done actually also using Lightning forms. And as we jump back in, In fact, I should show you what we're looking up from. So I'll just open this up in a new tab here. So we are performing a lookup against the location lookup. So you'll notice that we've got the locations listed many times, and then we've got the department. Now, one of the challenges, I hard coded these choices using a choice column, but actually what I might want to do is look up from this one, which would make it more dynamic, and then use that to also provide the filter value for the department as well. So if we just jump back into the expense report, and again into the Lightning Forms. So I'll go into the new form this time. And so against the department field itself, if we hit the field configuration, you can see there's a camel query. You don't need to know camel to do this. You can basically come in and configure that. Yeah. So yeah, in here we've got the query. So this is where you set the query. So we've got the department title is equal to the input form coming from that location field. Okay. So if my initial column had actually looked up the location field, then what I could do there is switch to an enhanced lookup, and this would allow me to remove any duplicate items.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so if we were looking up from that location column, we would only see each of those locations just once, which would be great. And the other reason for going to this enhanced lookup is if the list that you're looking up from contains more than the 5,000 items, so the threshold limit. Yeah, this overcomes that by allowing you to perform a filter as well. So yeah, a couple of great new features around that as well.
Those have been requested.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's really the sort of idea behind all of that. So there's some of the new features that you've got in this version.
Great. And I guess you'll be showing even more when you demonstrate in our April 22nd webinar, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, sign up for the 22nd, and we'll be building a solution from scratch, but also show some of these new features as well in that demo. So.
Great. Yeah, looking forward to that.
Excellent. Well, was there anything else you wanted to add, Sandy?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, that looks great, and yeah, I'm really excited to play with it myself. I haven't done that yet, but I will do.
Excellent.
And yeah, I know that some of our customers are going to be quite happy with some of these new features.
Yeah, and I do believe that we've got a guest lined up for next week. So we'll be talking to one of our partners and how they use Lightning Forms in one of their solutions as well.
Great. Sounds perfect.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, and see you next week.
Yep. Thank you. All right. Bye.
Bye for now.